Welcome back. We're here and it is 1505. We're already halfway through this decade. Can you believe it? In the last one, we had Gabriel age up into a teenager, Lionel aged up into a toddler, Siobhan's scheming got Isla losing her engagement with Edom. Poor Esther had to marry Tobias, Allison, an older man. And we also completed Eleanor's motor aspiration as a child. What else? Cassandra had a charity event, and someone has a big fat crush on her, which is cute. The only birthdays we have this year are Lillian and Letitia Goth, who can't get a 2-4 or a 6. No 2, 4, 6. Ooh. Okay, well, Letitia survived. Oh well, that's a bummer. The Goths are like fading fast. As for townie birthdays, let's change this to 1505. Let's see, we have Verona Stark. That's not really super important to me. We have, William Docra II is becoming a child. And then Kinley Dubois is becoming a child. Was Kinley already a child? I don't know. Anyway, Kinley has a birthday. Yeah, that's it for that. And then I am introducing one more family because like we talked about, we need 5 ladies for Gabriel to schmooze. So I have brought in the Albert family from Story Girl 83. They are not as high class as everyone else, so I don't know if Gabriel will end up marrying their teenage daughter, but we'll see. So after Hans Albert survived a wild animal attack, he and Brita decided to move to a new country. Going with them are their 3 sons and their daughter, the horse, and the cat. A family of animal lovers, party animal Dietrich, and whiz kid Casper are the odd ones out. So I think that's the eldest and the... Yeah, so he's already an adult. But yes, so the daughter here is Verena. So we'll see where that goes, whether or not Gabriel takes a fancy to her, but we'll see. I just wanted to add in a bunch of people that are going to be the same age as him. So anyway, let's hop into the game. So I don't know how I keep doing this, but I was like, wait a second, where's Tobias's birthday? And I couldn't find it. So it's actually right here, a year after Gabriel's. So I don't know why Eleanor's is so many years away. Did we really wait that long before we had Eleanor? Maybe there was a kid in between there. Yes, Percival was in between there. Okay. So yeah, I don't know what happened. Anyway, we need to roll for Hector, Landgrab, and our Tobias. So no 7 or 13. No 7 or 13. Okay, so they both survive. Will Hector get married? Yes. Tobias? Yes. Children? 1 for Hector. None for Tobias. Oh my gosh, that's a no babies for Tobias. So Hector, wow, the number of children is just decreasing. Tobias, Larkin, 0, because 10 means no children. Okay. Wow. All right. Let's do it. Alrighty, let's get started. I have added a jewelry making, gem cutting, whatever table to Gabriel's room. So that is something that we wanted to get him involved in. So he's going to come to his father and basically ask Mortimer for money to buy a small like gem mine or something. I don't really know how these things went around at the time. Like I'm sure that also I hate his pants. Why did they do that? I might have to change his outfit. But anyway, yes. So basically, Gabriel wants to buy a mine so that he can get the gems, so that when he gets the gems, he can then, refine them and stuff and maybe make a business out of it. And of course, we know that Mortimer is very supportive of any of his children's endeavors, and he believes that they will be successful just like he is. And so if Gabriel comes to him and says, hey, can I have 200,000 simoleons to do a thing? He's just going to be like, okay, sure. I mean, we have so much money. So it's not really a concern for him to give away some of that money. It will be beneficial regardless, even if they have to resell it. Like, jewels are always in vogue. So Anyway, we are then going to send him to school because Siobhan has the aspiration where she has a test where she needs to get a child who has an A in school. I did make Gabriel her care dependent, but it turns out that that doesn't actually count, so I'm going to have to cheat that, but like, he's her kid. She's his stepmother. Anyway, so next we are here at the party, and I did want to do a couple of things. The first one is, so as we know, Isla lost her engagement with Edom last year. Also, Esther and Heath couldn't keep courting each other either, so that's kind of a problem for them. So basically, we have Isla, who is now kind of looking around for new options for a husband. Of course, she would prefer Heath, but Kennedy, his sister, doesn't really like her. So she is going to now change tactics, because keep in mind, like, she's still a snob. She's still, like, she wants the best. She doesn't really, like, she's not evil and cunning like her mother is, but she still wants the best for herself. Why not, right? And her and Heath already had like a good rapport with each other and everything. But Kennedy has been getting in the way of her. And especially now that Siobhan is responsible for Esther's downfall. And everybody loves Esther. I love Esther. Even Isla loved Esther, like, as a friend. And so, because Siobhan was responsible for that, it does not endear Isla to anybody, right? So basically, Isla realizes that if she wants to be with Heath, she needs to now get in with Kennedy. So she's like, okay, I need to make friends with Kennedy if I want to be able to get anywhere near Heath. I need Kennedy's approval. So she is going to start chatting with Kennedy. They are going to be friendly with each other. And, you know, I think that... okay, we'll come back to that. But I also invited Serdic over. So Serdic, he's not in this group. That's why we had to invite him. But Serdic is actually been, you know, his father just passed away, so I don't know if I entirely blame him for what's going on in his life right now, but we're having him drink a lot and, you know, flirt a lot with some of the ladies and stuff, and Cassandra does not like that improper behavior. She doesn't like that her betrothed is going around flirting with other girls. She is really, really not happy about him behaving this way. So we're going to have her come and talk to him, although for some reason they can't really talk much. I don't really get what's going on there. Like, we don't have a lot of options here, but yeah, it seems like he keeps trying to leave. Oh my gosh, it is infuriating to me that every time I bring Sims somewhere, all they try to do is leave. If they're not in my household, all they want to do is leave, and it's so annoying. But anyway, so yes, we have Cassandra kind of confronting Serdic about his behavior, like, what are you doing? And he's like, it's none of your business. Like, you know, he's just kind of brushing her off, not really giving her the time of day. And she's like, I'm your fiance. You, like, have to be respectful to me. And he's like, whatever, like, we don't even have to get married or what, you know, he's just like so doesn't care about her. And she is so frustrated by that because they, you know, have been betrothed their whole lives, and they were really, like, pretty close friends when they were young. And so it's really disappointing to her that as he's gotten older, he's kind of got this bad attitude, kind of entitled. You know, he's the Baron now, so he thinks that he's, like, you know, hot-ish. And so she's just, like, frustrated with his behavior. And I don't know, you know, he already was blowing her off before his father died, so I don't know how much of it we can attribute to grief, but that's just the way it is, you know? So that's what we're dealing with. And anyway, so let's get everyone home. We're going to send Cassandra out to work on her charity. She is going to continue to do that. We also have Siobhan wants to mentor a child, so I'm going to have her mentor Isla in violin because she has a level 10 violin. And then also, now that Gabriel is home from school, we are going to have him finally get started on his jewelry making stuff. He definitely wants to get going on that and learning about that and just all of the good stuff, because look at his face. He is like ready. He's like, I'm going to get so rich from this. So he is really excited about the whole jewelry making thing. He is definitely going to, I mean, obviously at first it's not going to be super lucrative or anything, but him doing the research, putting in the work, like, he is very much willing to make this a thing. And of course, that's what Mortimer wants out of his children, is them to work hard and all of that stuff. So anyway, he is going to be doing that. Meanwhile, we are going to have Cassandra come talk to Mortimer about her concerns with Cerdic. Now, her father is the one who did arrange that marriage. Now, of course, what was it? I think his name was like Oron, the father of Cerdic. He's dead. So obviously, any negotiations would now be with Cerdic as the current Baron. So Cassandra is basically talking to Mortimer and being like, look, he's been flirting with other women. He's been drinking a lot. He's been acting out, and it's really a concern for me. He doesn't seem very interested in our marriage. And like, she didn't want to bring this to Mortimer. Like initially, when Cerdic was ignoring her, she was like, whatever. But now that he is acting out in public and stuff, she is really concerned. So we're going to have her have a conversation with her father, because this is now not really something she can handle on her own, because of course he is a titled member of the court. Like, he is a baron, and she doesn't really have the leeway to actually have that conversation with him and have that argument with him, because they're not married, they're just betrothed. And so she doesn't really have the option to kick up that big a fuss, and she doesn't really have any power in the situation. So that is why she is dealing with this. She's having to talk with her father about it, and he's like, okay, like, don't worry about it, I will look into it, I'll handle it. Mortimer, while Mortimer wants his children to be self-sufficient, like, you have to recognize when you need to ask for help, and he has done that himself. When he got remarried, he recognized that he couldn't do it on his own, and he had to ask for help and all this stuff. And so basically he realizes that that's something that he needed to focus on, so he understands when his children are in the same position where they need to ask for help. So, moving on. We are going to just have Gabriel continue to do his thing. He is going to get into the jewelry making and all of that. And then we are going to just continue on here. Now, what I want to do with Gabriel, as soon as he finishes this, because I think that he knows how to get things done. Gabriel is kind of cunning, and he is definitely smart in some ways. So he is going to actually head out. We're going to go to the church. Why not? And what we're going to do is have him meet Henry there, the Crown Prince Henry. And so he's going to be the future king in a few years, or he is going to be the king in a few years. He is currently the future king. And so he is going to meet Henry, and he's going to tell Henry all about his new business. Hey, I'm working with the gemstones. I have a mine. It's going to be awesome. Like, I'm going to give you the best cuts of the gems and all of that stuff. So he is really, see, I'm telling you, I bring them here and they leave. Like, stop it. Okay, so anyway, he gives Henry the gem, and he's very excited about it. And of course, he's like, oh, well, ladies love the jewels, and we know that Henry VIII was a romantic. So he is going to try and get Henry interested in that way. Then after that, we are going to, so as we know, we need to get into 5 romantic relationships for Gabriel. He needs 5 romantic relationships, and of course I'm having a lot of trouble keeping her here. But we know that Elaine Landgrab is actually not going to be getting married. So I think that she is a good option for someone to have like a quick relationship with. So he is going to court her a little bit, definitely get in a romantic relationship with her, and maybe go a little too far, right? Maybe in the future, because part of this aspiration is to also woohoo in different locations. So maybe one of the reasons why she's unable to get married is she, maybe has an affair baby, or not an affair baby, but like an unwed baby, and Gabriel probably wouldn't take responsibility, so we'll see about that. But anyway, if I could just get her to stay here, seriously. And then they are going to be romantic with each other. I am going to let them kiss. We're not going to woohoo right now. That's not part of the current thing for him. He needs to do 15 flirtatious interactions and then also be in a relationship with 5 Sims. So what we're going to do is have him start a relationship with her, and then also we're going to have them do the flirtatious interactions. So there's that. And so he's basically courting Elaine. She is from a good family. Like, she is a baron's daughter. So that is not really a bad choice for Gabriel. But of course, he is going to aim very high because he's going to be a Viscount and everything. And keep in mind, okay, so get this. He's going to be a Viscount and Tobias is going to be a baron. But Tobias isn't going to have any children. So the title would probably come back to Gabriel. So Gabriel would probably get the same 2 titles as his father. Maybe even we could increase his title based on how things go with Henry VIII. And, oh my gosh, Elaine, don't get a crush on him. He's just using you. But yes, so Gabriel might end up having 3 titles. I don't think he would give one to Lionel. I just don't think he would because he's a jerk. Like, he's a jerk. Yeah, Mortimer would give his titles to his sons, but once the title comes back to Gabriel, he's not gonna give it to somebody else. Anyway, so Gabriel might have a good situation going there. We'll have to try and have a lot of sons with him. We'll see. But yeah, so he is very excited to, have this little smoochy relationship with Elaine, and she is loving it. I mean, of course, who doesn't want to marry the future Viscount, right? Like, that would be a really good thing for them. So there aren't that many, future and or titled men who are in the marriage market right now. So she is definitely interested in him. She has a big crush on him. I feel so bad for her, actually. She doesn't deserve this. She finds him so attractive. Like, Elaine, you are just so naive. You were just falling right for it, my girl. Oh, I feel bad for her. I feel so bad for her, but what you gonna do? You just gotta accept it and go from there. So these two are gonna continue to do their romance thing, and we are going to, I guess, yeah, we're just gonna do that. We're gonna finish getting the 15 interactions really quickly. So we want to do that, and then. So we can only have 5 residential rentals on a house. And since we have space for like 6 or something, or maybe even 7, so I figured we would make like so on the left of our house, we have the one apartment that Pedro was staying in, and then we have space for 2 more apartments. But what I'm going to do is make that one big apartment, so then we'll have 2 on one side and I guess 3 on the other, unless the one we're living in counts, in which case we can't have 3. I don't know how many residential rentals can you have in Sims 4. Okay, on one lot. Build up to 6 units on that space. Okay, so yes. Okay, yeah, we can have 3 on the other side because we have our space, Pedro's space, the new double unit space, and then that's 3. So then we can have 3 more on the other side. Yes. All right. So that's what I'm thinking is we'll make like a big one over there. So, and then also we have to think about like, so if Isla, if they are going to marry someone who has like a title and a house of their own and everything, I'm not going to move them into like a rental on our house, right? Especially like the girls will probably not live on our lot because they're going to join their husband's family. Now, Tobias can definitely have, a space of his own on our lot. We can say that like, it's part of the Baron's land or something, but yeah. So Lionel, honestly, like Lionel's probably still going to be young when Gabriel starts getting married. So I feel like if Mortimer dies, Gabriel would probably move Lionel and Siobhan into like one of the apartments or something. Anyway, moving on. We are inviting Kennedy over because Isla, again, is trying to become friends with Kennedy. And so Isla is going to actually confide in Kennedy. They have gotten really close lately. They're like friends. And Kennedy is still kind of hesitant about Isla and everything. And so Isla is just basically going to tell Kennedy, like, look, I know how my mother is, and I want to get away from her. Like, I'm not like her at all, and I promise that I'm not trying to cause any problems for your family, and I really wish my mother wouldn't meddle in my life. It's not my fault that she's like that. And, you know, she basically is telling Kennedy that she is not happy with her mother, and she really wishes that she didn't have to deal with her mother, but she does, and there's nothing she can do about it, and she just wants to marry away from her mother, and she would be happy never talking to her mother again, but she can't. And so she's just basically telling Kennedy all of this so that they can bond, and so that Kennedy can kind of get a better idea of what she's like. You know, what is Isla actually like outside of her messy mother. So that is something that Isla wants to impress onto Kennedy, that she is not like her mother, and she, you know, is trustworthy, and she is a good person. And they actually have amazing compatibility, Kennedy and Isla. So I think that's totally a way that Isla is going to be able to become friends with Kennedy and all of that. So that's what I'm saying, because they have amazing compatibility. I think that Kennedy will eventually come around to Isla and be okay with her dating her brother and even marrying him, as long as you know, she keeps her mother out of it. And then anyway, I did just really quickly have Cassandra kind of come back to Mortimer. I mean, they were just talking on their own, so I figured, you know, maybe Cassandra is still hearing rumors, like rumors through Whistledown and stuff are going around about Cerdic and how he is just acting like a fool in public and like gambling a lot and drinking and you know, seeing like ladies of the night and like all this stuff. And so Cassandra is really concerned about her future. And so Mortimer is also really not happy with the way that things have been going there. So there is that. And then Mortimer actually is potty training Lionel. And I think that Mortimer also kind of feels a little bit guilty about, you know, that time period after Diana had passed, but before he married Siobhan, where he was neglecting his children a bit, like he wasn't able to do everything. And while I don't think his children hold that against him, I think that he is definitely trying to make up for it now that his children are a little bit older and that things are a little bit easier. He is definitely trying to make sure that he does his best with taking care of the children and all of that stuff. And so he is, you know, spending more time with Lionel than he did with some of his other kids when they were that age, because he does feel guilty about not having spent that time together. So there's that. Then, okay, it is now Wednesday. So it's Wednesday morning, and Mortimer is here with his family. We're going to clean up a little bit. We're trying to potty train Lionel. He only has to finish the potty skill, and then he's all done. So he's almost done there with that. And okay, Mortimer is going to clean that out. We'll get him potty training again. Yeah, I just think that Mortimer is trying his best to, you know, deal with the fact that he maybe wasn't as good a father as he could have been. I think that that's hard for him. So anyway, we are going to, now it's All Hallows Eve. So I'll have Siobhan go and make a grand meal, and we'll just do some stuff here. So that'll be something that we'll focus on as a little holiday thing. And also, I think that Mortimer, let's call over Cerdic. I think Mortimer is going to have a man-to-man conversation with him where he wants to check and see, you know, what's going on. What's going on with him? What can he do? Is this going to affect his daughter? Like, Mortimer is not afraid to cause, you know, problems. Like, the whole thing with the Pretender was years ago now. So nobody is really questioning Mortimer and his family and their fidelity to the crown. But, you know, he's not really willing to let the Beza family, now that his friend Oren is dead, he's not really willing to let them cause any problems for him. So there is that. So let's have them have a conversation. And so they are going to talk, and we are going to have Mortimer kind of say to Cerdic, like, what is going on here? Like, what is the issue? Why are you acting like this? Is it because your father died? Like, what can I do in order to, prevent this from being an issue for my family? And why, he's trying to be nice at first, and Serdic is just blowing him off like, I can do whatever I want, I'm in charge of my family, I don't need your permission, you're not my father, blah blah blah. And so they're kind of causing a lot of drama for each other, and Mortimer is just kind of starting to get angry, like, actually, you are the Baron now, you're right, and you need to act like it, you can't act like a mess all the time, and blah blah blah, and I'm not going to let my daughter marry you if you continue to act like this. And he's basically like, I don't care if I marry her, I can get whatever woman I want, blah blah blah. And they're just kind of having this big argument about it, and Mortimer is basically like, look, I'm going to give you a chance to get your act together, and if I don't see any improvement, there's going to be a problem. So that's basically how he left it, is he's leaving the door open for Serdic to improve, but he's making it very clear that he is not okay with this behavior. So there is that. And then we are going to next check on the family having the grand meal. Okay, so grand meal for the family in order to, what's the word? It's All Hallows Eve, so we're doing that, and then we'll have some people be thankful. We actually don't have, it looks like because when you release the spirit from the grave, you can't then use the grave for things like holiday ceremonies, which is kind of annoying, but I don't want a ghost, but if I have a ghost, I have to deal with that, like, okay. So there is that, and so we'll have them, again, I'm just taking pictures of our holiday stuff and having a good time and all of that, and so they are enjoying themselves, and then we will get everyone done there and have everyone be doing their thing. I'm also going to start working on the birthdays a little bit. I do want to make sure that they can... we'll age up who we can using the, what's it called? The panel with the clubs. And then we will have to call over the other children. So that'll be a thing. But we can do that pretty easily in, what's it called? We can do that pretty easily by using the teleporter, and then we can have them join the club. And also we do have to kill Lillian, so we will do that as well. Also, I really should, I'm not going to do it right this second, but I am going to do it in just a second, is that we are going to have to add some things into these bedrooms, because they're empty. Like, these bedrooms do not have things in them. So I do want to add that in, because I think that it would have been nice to have, like, Kennedy and Isla able to go, like, chat on a couch in Isla's room instead of just hanging out outside. So I am going to spruce up the bedrooms a little bit. And so... Anyway, so now I'm going to start calling over the children. We'll kill Lillian here, and then we can use her grave for the holiday. Sorry, Lillian. And then we are going to call over also Letitia Goth, who needs to become a child and enter into the club. And then we will also have William Docra II, who is going to join the club and all of that. And then we're also going to have Kinley Dubois, who is going to also do the thing. And then what else? Then we just have Hector Landgrab becoming a teenager, and then Tobias. So actually, as it turns out, I'm not a good sim parent, I guess, because Tobias is about to age up without me telling him to. And I'm sorry, Tobias, your birthday is supposed to be tomorrow. I don't know what you want from me. So we missed Tobias's birthday. I'm sorry, Tobias. I didn't know that you were about to age up. So anyway, Tobias is going to age up, and he is going to age up, and in just a second. But yeah, so we're also going to use this grave here, just enjoy ourselves for the holiday. Yes, let's enjoy ourselves by having a child's grave. So yeah, what I'm going to do is just like, so this is Cassandra's room, so I'm just going to add in a couple of little couches or whatever, a chair and just a little spot to hang out. And then we are going to, then in Tobias's room, we'll add a bookshelf and a desk because he is a geek. And then we are going to into Isla's room again, just add a couple of couches, just that kind of stuff. Like I figured that Isla would probably want a more social aspect in her bedroom, if that makes sense. So yeah, there we go. And then also we're going to get the grave out so that we can use that and mourn poor Lillian Goth. The Goths are just not doing well. Like, their kids keep dying. Luckily, they had a lot of them. They had so many kids. Okay, so they had so many child roles. And not only did they have so many child roles, but they had, like, only one boy. And then on top of that, the kids keep dying. So there is that. But anyway, yes, Tobias just aged up, and he rolled to be clumsy. So he's a clumsy geek. I mean, what a stereotype, but it's just the way it is, Tobias. So he's dealing with that. And then I don't know if you know, so part of the lasting legacy aspiration for the Regency Romance mod that Mortimer is currently doing, that aspiration is to have 2 kids presented to court. And I thought that if I had them go be presented to the queen, that would count. Maybe it doesn't. I'm not really sure. So I'm just kind of like, okay. Okay, so that is kind of confusing for me because I am sending Tobias to go be presented to the queen right now, but unfortunately, despite that fact, it seems like it doesn't check off anything for this. Meanwhile, we do have Gabriel. He's going to be able to do the seed. So I'm going to have him plant the seed on our rooftop just to get that gem tree. So that'll be really exciting for him. And he'll enjoy that. And yeah, that's pretty much where we're going to wrap up, is just finishing some of these holiday things. We'll give everyone some makeovers and go from there. So I think that'll be good. There he goes. So he's back, and unfortunately it did not go well. Tobias totally fumbled the ball there. He did not do well in his presentation. He like tripped or something. And so there's that. Poor guy. So yeah, that's what happened there. And then we are going to, I'm not going to host a ball right this second. We're going to have to do makeovers and stuff. So we're not going to do that right now. And yeah, so I'm going to go plant the seed on the roof. We'll get some makeovers done. And I already told you all of the birthdays that were happening. So that was all good. I think that we're in good shape. I am really, it is a little much to deal with some of this stuff where we do have a lot going on. Like we have like 3 different stories going on at the same time. And then now Tobias is a teenager as well. So he is also going to start his like big story before he, gets older and moves out. So it is going to be tough, I think. So we'll see how we can do all of these stories at once. But I think Isla is supposed to be becoming a hold on, she's not in my spreadsheet. She's in my townie tracker. Where is she? Isla. Okay, Isla Covington. Okay, in 2 years she's going to become a young adult. So her story is almost over. She's doing really well. She's got Kennedy on her side now. So as long as her mother doesn't cause any problems, then we will be okay. So we'll see if that causes any problems, because it probably will. But moving on. That'll be that. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this part. Everyone is doing pretty well, and I'm excited to get more into what Gabriel is doing. I think it's going to be so fun to have a mean, messy, total disaster of a patriarch. So I'm excited for that. Let's see what's going on next year. Next year, no birthdays for us, but the year after next is Mortimer's Adult Part 2. So I am a little concerned about that. And then, yeah, so next year we just have Randolph Landgrab II. So nobody cares about him. And then, yeah, and then Mortimer, this is the year after. Then Lionel. Then Lionel will be becoming a child. And then Cassandra will be becoming an adult. And then then Siobhan's birthday, Eleanor's birthday. Yeah, okay, so oh my gosh, the flu. The flu, 1510, the flu. But it's only a 1 in 20 chance of dying. I should knock on wood when I say that, right? But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this part, and I'll catch you in the next one.